Everybody, I'm David Kuhn, and I'm here with Miss Deanna Cook from Paradise Pumpkin Patch. And welcome to our 4th edition of our virtual farm field trips. So today we're at Paradise Pumpkin Patch, and we're going to learn a little bit about pumpkins. So Deanna, about how many pumpkins do y'all go through a year out here at Paradise Pumpkin Patch?
Typically in a given year, we can go through 3,000 pumpkins. I think that average may be a little bit up this year. We've had a lot of crowds on the weekends, so probably around 3,500.
Okay, and how many different varieties or types of pumpkins do y'all grow here?
We keep about 3 different kinds. We have the bigger pumpkins that you use for carving. We also have the pie pumpkins that we sell for people to cook with. And we have some small little baby pumpkins that the kids like. And we also have our ornamental pumpkins.
Okay, when you grow pumpkins to have pumpkins for Halloween, what time of year do you typically plant those pumpkins?
Typically, if you want pumpkins around Halloween, you need to start anywhere from mid-June to early July planting.
Because pumpkins take 90 to 120 days, depending on variety.
They do, and if you plant them too early, you're going to have rotten pumpkins by that time.
Okay, so timing is kind of critical. If you want to grow pumpkins, you need to plant them early so they're mature by the time Halloween comes around for your Halloween pumpkins.
Yeah, you want them real firm by that time.
Okay, we've got a short video we're going to show about pumpkins, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit about pumpkin flowers and how they grow.
Hi there, my name is Allie Logan. I'm a County Extension Coordinator with the Alabama Cooperative Extension System. Today, we're going to take you on a virtual field trip to the pumpkin patch. The farmer starts by planting the pumpkin seeds in late July. The farmer must choose the right pumpkin seeds to plant. Pumpkins come in many shapes and sizes. This farmer is planting pumpkins that range from 5 pounds to 100 pounds. The seeds arrive in packages and have to be emptied into the yellow bins or hoppers on the planter. Once the seed is in the hopper, the farmer must line up on the prepared soil beds, lower the planter, and the machine does the rest of the work. It will take 85 to 90 days for these pumpkins to grow to maturity, which means they are ready to pick. Do you know that pumpkin seeds can be roasted as a snack? They're great toasted in the oven with cinnamon and sugar. Pumpkins are also a great source for vitamins that we need to help our bodies function. They contain potassium and vitamin A. Humans aren't the only ones who like to eat pumpkins. Animals eat pumpkins in their feed. You can even eat the pumpkin flower. Because pumpkins grow on a vine and their seeds are on the inside of the flesh, pumpkins are a fruit and not a vegetable. Pumpkins grow on a vine, so they need a lot of space to grow. This is one of the considerations the farmer must make when planting pumpkins. The plant will need to be 4 to 15 feet apart, depending on the variety. The vines will grow long with large leaves and eventually will bloom. Honeybees are very important to help pollinate the pumpkins. If the flowers are not pollinated, then there will be no pumpkin. Once the bloom falls off, it'll leave a small pumpkin attached to the vine. Pumpkins are green at first, but as they grow, they will start to change colors until it's fully orange, white, or whatever the color of that variety. Did you know pumpkins are kin to everyone's favorite summer vegetable? That's right, pumpkins are in the same family as squash. They are called cucurbits. Did you know the largest pumpkin ever grown weighed 1,140 pounds? That's just as much as a grown polar bear. Native Americans also use pumpkin seeds for food and medicine. Pumpkins should be harvested before the first hard freeze in the fall. In general, they can be harvested when the stem and the rind begin to harden. Many types experience color changes at this point, and they may have a round spot color change as well. To harvest a pumpkin, simply remove the pumpkin stem from the vine and brush off the soil. Some farmers prefer to make a clean cut to the stem with pruning shears, while others tear the vine off the stem, leaving a natural look. Stems, also called handles, vary greatly in length, girth, and overall quality. And this is a variety dependent. In fact, handle quality is one of the traits that pumpkin breeders select for in new varieties. If possible, try to leave at least 4 inches of a stem attached to the pumpkin when you remove it from the vine. This helps protect the pumpkin from frost and rotting. Many people choose their pumpkin for the stem. What kind of stem do you like? Long, short, or curved? Pumpkins that are harvested a little early for the seasonal markets or pie varieties can be stored in dry and reasonably cool area at 50 to 55 degrees. This will extend their storage life by several weeks. These are typically the smaller pumpkins. High humidity and extreme temperatures will damage pumpkins quickly. Pumpkins come in all shapes and sizes. Depending on the farm you visit, you can find 100-pound pumpkins, 5-pound pumpkins, pumpkins with bumps, white, pink, and green pumpkins, what we call Cinderella or fairy tale pumpkins. The list goes on and on. It's up to you to pick out the right pumpkin for all your fall decorations. But if you're looking for the perfect jack-o'-lantern, I'd suggest an orange long-stemmed brown pumpkin. There are many other things you will see at the pumpkin patch. There'll be all sorts of fun and games. You might even see a petting zoo with all sorts of animals like cows, chickens, rabbits, and goats. You might even get to go pick some cotton in the cotton field. Some pumpkin patches even have a corn maze, but be careful not to get lost. Obstacle courses with pipes and hay bales, and a sunflower patch for taking pictures. And of course, you cannot forget pumpkins, pumpkins, and more pumpkins. We hope you've enjoyed the quick virtual trip to the pumpkin patch. Don't forget to thank the farmer when you visit the patch.
Okay, guys, we're back at Paradise Pumpkin Patch with Miss Deanna Cook, and we went out and pulled one of the pumpkin vines so you can look at it a little closer here. And there's some things I want to show you about this. Pumpkins, you plant them in about 30 to 45 days, they start flowering. And they have 2 different types of flowers. They have a male flower. This is a male flower right here. And if you look down in that flower, you can see the stamen with the pollen on it. Okay, that male flower fertilizes the female flowers. This is a female flower that has been fertilized. Let's see if I can open it up here so you can see the inside. You see the pistil here that fertilizer goes into. And at the bottom of that flower, you see a baby pumpkin. So once that male flower fertilizes that female flower, the pollen travels down there and it starts to form a pumpkin. You can see another one here. You can see a bloom starting to form here. That will be a bloom where a pumpkin can grow. And then they start growing from there. And eventually these are ornamental pumpkins. So they're little small pumpkins. This is what those tiny baby pumpkins will turn into. So let's take a walk out here and look at the pumpkin patch. And Miss Deanna's going to tell us a little bit about how they grow their pumpkins.
So we typically start maybe the end of June, the 1st of July, and we come out here to the clean field. It's typically in rows, and we try to get them up on a little mound, and we go down each row, and we want to leave about 3 feet of space on either side so they have a 9 square foot area for the vine to grow. And we'll typically put about 3 seeds, about an inch, inch and a half deep. And we cover them up lightly. You don't want to pack it down too hard so they have the air to aerate. And we just go down. We have a little stick and we go down all these rows and 9 by 9 square areas and just go to it. And we're just planting them in the ground. And probably within a couple of weeks, they start coming up.
Okay. So any special fertilizer that you use?
We use a fungicide. We typically don't use a whole lot of it because sometimes it'll burn the plants, and we try to get them to stay pretty and that's just for our purposes. So we try to have the pretty leaves.
Okay, so they're kind of hard to grow in Alabama.
Very hard to grow in Alabama. Typically, like Illinois, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Northern California is where you're going to have your pumpkins grown. And they say 95% of the pumpkins used for processing come out of Illinois.
Right, and that's because of the weather. We're so humid, the humidity is so high, and that's very conducive to a lot of our fungal diseases. So, so when kids come out to a pumpkin patch and do a field trip, and they get a pumpkin to take home, or they go somewhere and purchase a pumpkin, how do they need to care for that pumpkin when they take it home?
Okay, when you go and pick out your pumpkin, you want to make sure the skin is still firm. You don't want any soft spots in it. You'll take it home and you'll maybe mix a little bit of bleach water and wash it down, and then you can either carve it or paint it, however you choose to do it.
Okay, so you just want to make sure it's clean, it's not injured, there's no way for any kind of disease to get into that pumpkin, and it'll last a little longer at home after you carve that pumpkin. Okay, I think we're going to make our way back to our transportation here, and we're going to go see the rest of Paradise Pumpkin Patch, and you're going to see some really neat animals and some of the other things they have out here. So let's walk back to our little machine here. So some fun facts about pumpkins. There's about 45 different varieties of pumpkins. They range in color from yellow, red, green. They have lots of different names like hooligan, cotton candy, orange smoothie. So lots of different varieties of pumpkins out there. Something else you didn't know, but you heard Deanna talking about, is pumpkin pie. Every part of the pumpkin is edible, including the skin, the leaves, the flowers, the pulp, the seeds, and even the stem. So when you carve a pumpkin, you're going to see lots of seeds. Each pumpkin has about 500 seeds in that pumpkin. And we talked earlier, they take about 90 days to 120 days to mature, depending on the different variety. The larger pumpkins obviously will take longer to grow than the smaller pumpkins. Another interesting thing is the world's largest pumpkin weighed just over 2,600 pounds. That's 2,600 pounds. That's a pretty big pumpkin. I don't think we grow pumpkins quite that big here in Barber County, but that was in Germany in 2016. Another interesting fact is pumpkins are grown on every continent except for Antarctica, because it's obviously too cold to grow pumpkins on Antarctica. In the United States, we grow about 1.5 billion pounds of pumpkins every year, and the top pumpkin producing states are Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and California. So as we make our way back into the rest of the festivities here at Paradise Pumpkin Patch, I'm going to let Miss Deanna tell us as we move by about some of the different things they do out here during field trips and some of the different activities they have.
Sure. We have about 20 different activities set up for the kids. As you can see, we're going by the inflatables right now. We have 3 inflatables set up, a slide, an obstacle course, and a princess house for the kids. We have our hobby horses and our bouncy balls. Back down the other way, we have a big concession stand set up. That way the kids can have their lunches. And if you come out on the weekends, they're set up for you to eat there too. We have a zip line. We have a big pipe slide. We have a corn cannon. And we're passing our big jumping pillow now. It's set up, it's like a big, massive trampoline. And now we're coming up to our barn area. On the weekends, we have pony rides out here in this area. And I'm just going to kind of pull over here because we're going to start with these animals here and work our way into the barn. We don't want to miss these.
Now, Deanna, this isn't a normal cow that you would see in Barber County. What do we have here?
This is not a normal cow. This is an African Watusi. And they are indigenous to Africa. And these cattle, although they say their beef is good, they're not raised for beef.
And their milk is the best product, but they only produce about 1 liter of milk a day. So it's really not feasible to have a milk farm with them. These are more of a status symbol.
Okay, what do they use these tremendous sized horns for, Deanna?
Their horns, they are not only used for protection, but in Africa, you know, it can get really hot. The interesting thing about their horns is they will cool them off. And this is Linus right here. I don't know. This is our big guy. He's the biggest that we have, although his mama's out there, and that's her talking right now. She tends to rule the roost around here.
All right, what else we have, Deanna?
We have a couple of buffalo out here.
Now, buffalo, how did we end up with buffalo in Alabama?
They were brought here. We purchased these from a farm out in Opp. And these are, back in the times of the Indians, we had plenty of buffalo here in the United States, more out west. But we don't have as much now because of all the poaching that was done years and years ago.
There's some unique animals.
Okay, they're fairly sweet, but.
And how big do buffalo grow? How big does this biggest one here weigh?
I would say he's probably about 2,800 pounds.
2,800 pounds.
He's pretty big.
He's bigger than the largest pumpkin ever grown.
Exactly.
So, all right, what else we got here?
Okay, we'll come through here and we'll go inside the barn and see. We've got a bunch of different animals in the barn.
So, Deanna, you say you have all these activities. What happens? You got a pumpkin patch. You got different activities for the kids, and you educate them on different animals. And
we do, as like usually our field trips are guided. So me or somebody else would be taking them around, and we show them all the animals and answer any questions they have, and go to each activity and let them spend some time at every area. It's a lot of walking, but it's very.
All right, I hear some critters in here.
Oh, yes. This is our loud baby right here. This is Brownie. And this little bit, he's been rolling in the grass. He is a pony. He's a big pony, but he's still classified as a pony. And let me get some food. Maybe he'll be interested to see him eat, because he'll be a lot more attentive if we have something to give him.
Uh-oh, I hear some turkeys.
We always let the kids, if they want to, feed the animals. You have to remember, with any horse or anything with big teeth, you want to keep your fingers flat so they don't grab your finger like he's trying to do. But that's our sweet baby.
Okay, what else we have in here, Miss Deanna?
Right, we'll come down here. This is our old guy, Jake. This is a 32-year-old horse. So he is really, really old. He was a barrel racer back in his day. So he basically now he just eats and takes it easy.
This looks kind of like a horse.
The one making the noise over here, this is not a horse. This is our mule. This is Houdini. This is our mischievous mule. And she is a hybrid of a boy donkey, and a female horse. And typically they have the body of a horse. Their legs are more like a donkey, and their face and their ears, if you can see, if she'll stay up here long enough, their nose is that of a donkey, and her ears are super long.
All right, I hear some other critters making noises out here. What do we have out here?
We have a bunch of different goats out here. I could get our pygmy goats over here. That would be awesome, but I think they're kind of wandering the property right now. And these guys love to eat. We have some that's going to have babies soon, maybe in the next month or two. We have a Spanish goat over there.
All right, what are these critters that are headed out and making noise? I mean, that's another Thanksgiving animal.
Turkeys gobbling around. We have probably around 30 on the property. A lot of people think they're wild, but they're not wild turkeys. During turkey season, we've had a couple of wild ones come up and stay with us for a few days and then leave again. So you never know what you're going to find around the farm.
All right, so Deanna, we thank you for letting us come today.
We got a few more animals.
Oh, we got some more animals.
We got a few more. Maybe we're running out of time, but I surely want them to see these because these are our special babies.
Now, this doesn't look like a horse or a mule.
No, this is llamas and these are alpacas, and they are of the camelid family, which means they have a cleft lip and they have two-toed padded feet. And these are the llamas and these are alpacas. Alpacas are generally smaller and fuzzier, and alpacas like water better than llamas do.
They're very attentive animals.
They're waiting for a little treat. And this is our sheep buddy. He's a really sweet guy, but like I said, they're expecting a little treat.
All right, and what we have here, looks like something we'd normally find in Alabama.
Yes, these are dairy cows, and it's two little boy cows.
So these are Holsteins?
They are, and we got these at auction because dairy farms take their babies when the mother has milk. That way we get the milk that you have at the grocery store. And they give the boys to people who want to raise cows and feed them and get them big and strong because the boys don't produce milk. So that's how we get our baby cows here.
All right. And what's the last fellow we have here?
She is our old pony. She is our retired walking pony. She's getting on up in age. I would say she's probably close to 20, maybe a little bit better. So she doesn't do the strenuous activity of giving pony rides anymore. She's living the life like the big horse in there.
The retired life.
Yes.
All right, and we got one more critter we want to get to back here.
We sure do. Let me get a handful of food, and I will get him around.
We're going to go this way, Deanna, or that way? Oh, we have an animal with a hump. Do we know what that is? It appears to be a camel. And we'll let Miss Deanna get over here and tell us a little bit about their.
This is Charlie Camel. And like most everything else around here, he's a little greedy. He's going to talk to us a little bit. And you can see better on him how their lips do. Their lips are cleft and they work like little fingers.
So when it's cleft, you mean it's split on the top.
Split. That's exactly right.
And how much does Charlie weigh?
Oh gosh. He hasn't been weighed in a really long time, but oh gosh. I would say upwards of about 3,000 pounds.
So he's even bigger than the buffalo.
He's huge. He's massive. And he's very gentle unless he's excited to come get something to eat, as you can see. He's normally very docile. He's a big baby. And I don't know if y'all want to walk out and maybe take a look at the zebra. It's a little bit of a walk, but if we have time, we can go real quick.
So you've got different activities set up throughout the farm here.
We do, and out there at the other side of the parking lot, we have a huge corn maze set up that people can go through. We've never had anybody get lost in there. So.
And what did we call these beautiful animals here?
This is African Watusi.
African Watusis.
And his name is Lion. Lion.
And Linus sees the food.
He does. Everybody knows what time it is when they see a bucket.
So in addition to the pumpkin patch and the farm festivities and the different things, what else do y'all do here at Hawkins Farms?
Okay, the rest of the year we run a hunting lodge. We have November to the end of February. We have our deer season. Then there'll be a short break, and then turkey season comes in. And during the summer, the lodge is rented out on VRBO.
So lots of different activities, what we call agritourism, with different things going on and different activities to bring things in and to make the farm work.
Come on, Marty.
So tell us a little bit about these two fellas.
This is our zebra, Marty, and our donkey. And she doesn't have a name. But usually what's odd about this pairing is whatever the donkey does, the zebra follows. Now, a donkey is a more domesticated animal. A zebra is naturally not. They are from Africa. They are in the horse family. Come on, baby. Come on. And they have been known to have a mean streak. Never seen him do anything really bad. We've actually tried to saddle him up a time or two. We would love to get him to that point, but come on, baby. See, whatever she does, he's going to follow.
So earlier we saw a mule.
A mule.
Which is a cross between a horse and a donkey.
And usually with it's a male donkey and a female horse that produces a mule. Sometimes if you do the reverse and have the male horse and a female donkey, you get what is called, it's a henny.
Mm-hmm.
And they look a little bit different. The henny will look more like a donkey, and they also vary in their appearance. A mule is typically going to look the same across the board, but a henny can. They were just sweet babies.
All right, Miss Deanna, we thank you for taking your time today to show us Paradise Pumpkin Patch and all of the different animals, and tell us a little bit about them and a little bit about how to grow the pumpkins. And teachers, thanks for being with us today. We hope you've learned something. Please remember to put your school name, the number of students that you have attending for our records, and we appreciate you being here today. Thanks.